Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on Donoram of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We thought we might be in the final portion of the trial, but now maybe we're in the final half of the day 4
The final
trial.
villain has revealed himself, I imagine. So
Yes. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
it's society's problem. Hope I'm not interrupting, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. You're not on duty, you're fired. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again.
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this. There was a break in today's trial.
Evidence?
Shouldn't we already know evidence law?
Yeah, really.
Especially since this is like a baby's book of evidence law.
Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. Evidence law.
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need to read this book.
Him. I
King
guess I'll need
Hippo.
to give this book a thorough read.
If you're going to take on King Hippo, you need to punch him in the belly when his
We
pants are
put
down.
it in our pocket.
There's only 2 laws and it's a whole book?
No.
Well, we
know.
put it in our pocket. It's a small.
You got a bunch of cases built around those 2 rules, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't look like that. Yeah, all this up now is whatever, man. I don't care. I'm fired. I'm still doing work.
That's where
Hell,
you're
where was
wrong,
that?
detective.
Huh? I'm not fired. I don't know.
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What?
We're in this for another 3 episodes.
What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky was found unwittingly causing a man's death. And now you're telling me you want more? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
You're missing the point, detective.
Oh, okay.
Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman.
Oh,
She merely stuck a knife into his dead body.
well, that's a minor infraction.
That means the real killer is still out there.
What? Yeah.
And we're going to expose him.
Oh,
Him.
okay.
No matter what it takes.
Whatever.
This case has hurt too many people, and it's time to bring it to an end.
February 25th, 12:52. A lot of courtrooms around here. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky, I guess. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
are you passing notes? The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Okay, well, as long as that's settled. Normally, this is the part where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But cough, cough. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, have...
Struck a bargain?
Bang.
You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that.
You said it.
Just everyone's been talking, and, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, The prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
But there's no precedent for that.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement,
But,
but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the
I
witnesses.
guess. Oh, okay, Mr. Wright, what do you want?
Unbelievable. Inconceivable.
Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial.
Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Okay, I sure hope nobody reviews this case. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright,
Bang.
Bickety bam.
you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer.
Okay, so
I mean, Gant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodman, bring him back. put him in
Damon
the
Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
chair. Damon Gant. What does he have to do with anything?
Everything. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has firsthand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse.
Playing Park Cheesy.
He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way.
It's true.
Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
Uh-huh. True. All right, bailiff, escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Oh,
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Mr. Gant, please.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant, and I am the acting chief of police.
Wait, is he not actually the chief of police?
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean the last time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Like a what? Like the role you played in all of this. Ellipsis. Son, either you're very brave or stupid. Ellipsis. Are you aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal?
He pulls a morning star out of his coat.
Weapons?
and starts spinning it menacingly.
Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
What? Is that true? Yeah. I'm afraid so. Chief Police, do what he wants.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. Witness may now begin his testimony. Testify. Okay.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Was that when Dark was arrested? Lying
Him?
on the floor, unconscious.
He was lying on the floor unconscious.
Yeah.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Okay, SL9. Here we go.
Present the jar.
Where do you want to present it?
He
Just,
did have that in his safe.
At the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, the things he had in his safe for the jar and that piece of cloth.
Yeah, try the jar first.
But where would that be relevant narrative-wise? Arrange the crime scene, maybe?
Oh, this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
fine.
he had it in his safe. Yeah, and it was in the... Okay.
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's that blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
What's the meaning of this?
Oh. He is a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence.
Oh, no, he's calling us out on that.
Except Gumshoe is the one who found the evidence.
Oh, it's true.
Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law.
Only me.
Rest assured, Dick will receive his punishment. What?
What?
If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
No. Yeah, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two
Dang
together.
Common Core.
Let's see. What was it now? A jaw fragment
And
and
the
a
piece
list.
And the piece of cloth.
For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't approve when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after dark, was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out any.
Mr.
Oh,
Wright.
press the last statement.
Oh,
It'd
that's
help him
true.
got to the to his newfound
It's true.
position. Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Tomorrow as well. Today, got busy.
All right, Uji, in return, though.
I know that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic?
Yes, we attack tomorrow.
Yeah, press that last statement.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely the one that probably leads somewhere.
The no reason there's evidence to participate.
It doesn't help him in any way.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to the chief. That in itself is a pretty sufficient motive. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? You really think I am that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah,
Okay, never mind.
He needed to plant Lana in the prosecution so that
Yeah.
he could control it.
be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. It's out in the open now. Uji, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Press that.
Yeah,
Because
it's right there.
there was something in it for him.
Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else out?
Point out
Oh,
the
yeah,
accomplice.
point out the accomplice. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I meant.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped? Goodman. Oh, no. Yeah, Lana.
We want Lana, right?
Yeah, it's Lana. Ah, Lana Sky. Wait, she's the defendant. What about her?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events.
Oof.
Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
Oh, but how would he profit from all this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor is so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana?
Well,
For example, is Lana testifying that I have done such a thing?
dang it.
Lana,
She's refusing to
She-
help.
keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way
Yeah.
she'd testify against
I
Gant.
mean,
At
she
this
would
point-
now because,
There's no point.
yeah.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing. Just conjecture. And I don't like that, apparently.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
Oh, you mean, what would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about
Huh.
the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial, almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is the Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. Jesus Christ.
What? Order. I said order. You can't be serious.
Huh?
Mr. Wright, this is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That's impossible. Impossible.
Your
I
Honor,
say.
I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in an easier to understand language.
Yeah, I hope it's nice and comfortable under the bus there.
It's too late, Mr. Wright.
Bang.
There's no turning back for us now.
It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder.
The ID, the
Detective
record
Goodman.
into the evidence room.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right
Yep.
before Mr. Edgeworth, too, so it's perfect. But then we're going to have to... this is the ID card list.
Yes. The one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7 sevens. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that that's my card number. It's your number. Bang.
How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7-digit... You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
All right, we got him on the ropes. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office is in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, do you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
You go to the bathroom in the evidence room?
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. We're here to kill this woman.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth.
Oh, well, that seems lazy.
If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof the victim went to meet the chief.
The lost item report.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It was slightly grayish. Yeah, they're okay, not grayish. It's that little by the screwdriver, yeah.
Yeah.
Can only be submitted to the chief of police.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to have given that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, You accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him.
Yeah, you had to let him in.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered Paul Goodman.
I'm glad you admit it.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's about it. Break for lunch? But wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the judge. He
Quit.
could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Sorry, but that's not possible.
Bang.
According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No!
Oh, Jesus! He's powering up. Gant, did you just anime? Okay.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit a murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have the entire police force at your disposal. So, you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was just a useless clue that was taking up space.
Good.
A screwdriver.
So many clues. Yeah. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
We're showing the screwdriver, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is the blue badger. He put it on the little blue badger wheels. Like, hey, just moving the blue badger, guys.
This is how he moved it.
Screwdriver? What does that have to do with anything?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime.
Oh, yeah. He made Edgeworth. Yeah.
What is the screwdriver doing here?
It's here because
He made Edgeworth transport the body by accident. Yeah.
I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here at the prosecutor's office.
I didn't make that connection.
In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
In the trunk of his car.
After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Huh. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. to transport the body to your accomplice, Ms. Lana Sky.
Okay. A little messed up. Order. What's going on? Come on. There's no room for rebuttal. Is there? Please?
Think back to the photograph Ms. Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
His trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. What weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
That's not a right to be casually invoked. Please. There's certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away. Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying. But if you have any conclusive evidence,
Okay.
you would have to present it by now.
Okay. We'll think of
Well,
I'll think of something. Come on.
you think I had Lana dispose of the body?
Oh, she tried.
If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
If we can just get Lana to say the damn thing. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is my friend, and I love him. This court will not tolerate any accusations against members of authority. Without concrete proof, as determined by me, what say you?
Your Honor.
Do you have any concrete proof that I can't just dismiss for no reason? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any?
Yeah.
We really don't.
Okay.
Do we say no?
Well, it does say not yet, but at the same time, I can't think of any present. Did we have any evidence?
It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself.
God.
No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
Edgeworth, save us.
See, Aji.
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble on what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji. I'll leave the rest to you.
And just like that, he was gone. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. The entire nation's law enforcement?
What?
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth. Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling the witnesses today.
Okay, so we get to call on a Sky, I guess. Unless there's some other lady who knows exactly what's going on but won't tell.
I agree. Lana's probably our best bet.
Yeah, unless...
Yeah, Lana.
Miss-
Elena. Ski.
The defendant, Miss Lana's... Yeah, you'd think we'd have called her again. I don't know.
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body, in accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Ridgeworth.
The prosecution has no objection, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. The court is now...
Hold on.
Huh? You're back. I thought you had left me forever to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana.
Cover her ears.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences.
Your Honor, he's badgering the defense.
He's blackmailing her in front of us.
In front of us.
That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right?
Technically,
Just something to think about.
the prosecution would be...
All right, then.
Would decide charges, not you.
I've got a lunch date to meet.
Gant, that's not how this works. I mean, okay, if there aren't any further blackmailings, please let's air them now. Let's just get it all out here. Like Gant's just garroting some guy who's he's trying to testify in the background, like,
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else. Hey, pals.
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. I already decided where to work now. At your office. Sweet.
My office.
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Oh, hell yes.
That would be awesome.
Could you mean... Oh, Maya.
Do it, Mr. Wright. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets away with murder and blackmailing?
It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify.
Yeah.
Settle down, Wright.
Are you implying the Constitution is flawed?
Remember what the judge said?
But, Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. We can throw him into a pit of sharks if he doesn't do it right.
Risk? What do you mean by that?
Just hold him in contempt. He'll just go to jail anyway.
It's
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
Who is this?
Probably Gant again.
Or Lana. You mean... Oh.
No. Emma. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor.
Everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean, pal?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gaunt's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold.
Brr.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief God may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait?
No, I'm going with you.
Bang.
Bickety bam.
I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
Once and for all.
Oh my God, and we're going into another part. Guys, this is ridiculous, but
Okay.
thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.